Good afternoon, everybody. Here I am again, Scrap and Lizzie, at your service. Not really at your service, but hey. Um, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little Christmas tree ornament. What I've already done here is I cut a piece off of my little felt piece in like a triangular shape, but straight down the bottom and then curved up, see, and straight, because it's going to be a Christmas tree, but it's going to be a hanging Christmas tree. And then I have a little piece of, this is the flexible hose kind of stuff that you can use, like you might get in like your fish tanks or oxygen hose or something. That's what this is. And that's what I'm going to wind this around. And I'm going to hopefully use a little bit. Okay, I gotta wait. My glue gun is heating up. Before I start even winding it, I make sure I have my thread ready. And I'm using this here crochet cotton and a needle. And I have beads. These are like little seed beads. I'm going to be using these little beads. And I'm going to be, see, this is a little bead ornament that I started kind of the same way. And then I have this little stuff in here. This little stuff in here. And that's what I'm going to use to decorate my tree. And this is really pretty. These are really pretty, really pretty. And so if you've ever made like boho beads, what we call boho beads, it's kind of on the same line as a boho bead, but by twisting it this way, it's going to come out like a tree. Now let me see if my glue is melted. I'm just going to put a little hot glue on there so that it will stick to the end, the wide end of the of this felt. Okay, now when I twist it now though, I want to keep this straight end straight. It's all going to stay together, so then this part will avalanche down. And so I'm just going to start rolling it and just roll it, roll it, roll it. Now I have my my little stuff a little bit long there. The tubing is a little bit long, but it's okay because I can cut that off in the end. It's best to have a little long than a little short, but it doesn't matter if it's a little long. Okay, now well, I don't like that. Well, it's going to be a long skinny tree. I think before I would make another one, I would cut the felt. This makes like a long skinny tree. Wait a minute, I'm going to try something else here. Let me put that one right there. And then I'm going to take another piece of felt. Okay, this one here now is a darker green, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one, so I got more felt, and let's see what difference this makes. I'm going to just cut this one now, and I'm going to cut that way. Okay, now, so let's try that one. Now I'm going to cut me another piece of my tubing. I got enough tubing to go around the world, so we're all good with that. And see, I need it to be about that long, so I'm going to cut that there. I shouldn't have cut that with my pinking shears, but I did. Okay, now instead of putting that on there, I'm going to put it right on the felt, and then put the piece of tubing or your straw or whatever you're going to use. You could even just put it around a dowel stick and then take your little dowel rod out when you're done. Okay, so I'm just gonna got then now that was better doing it that way. Okay, see, I'm learning as I go. Now I'm just gonna twist and twist, and because this one's longer this way, then the tree will be a little plumper at the bottom. Not a lot plumper, but well, it's about the same. But this here felt is thinner than this felt, so it's not going to matter really, I guess. Now I'm going to, now I've got my thread, my needle is already threaded, and so that I'm going to take my first stitch at this very end here, and I'm going to, are you after trash, honey?
If you got any, if you don't.
Yes, I do. Just a minute. Let me get this one stitch in here.
Okay.
Hang on. Okay. Just a minute, you guys. I gotta get the trash for Papa. He can't reach it. I gotta keep my trash in a private place. Not really. Okay, stay right there. Okay. Alright, here it is. Okay, and then just put it right there. Okay, so now I put one stitch in there. Now that is holding that. That is holding that down in there already just nicely. And then I have these little seed beads, all different colors. And every time I put on a stitch, I'm going to put on a bead. Every time I put a stitch, I'll put a bead. So now a stitch is there. So then I'm going to go around and I'll put that back in there. And now that bead is stitched right on there. And now that thread, I pulled the needle out where I want my next bead to go. So there I put on another bead and go back in where I just come out and pull the needle back out where the next bead will go. And so I will just keep putting beads on my tree. And this thread I'm using is multicolored, so even the multicolors of the thread will make a little more decoration, you know, the different colors. But see, and I'm gonna just keep. Okay, so now I'm gonna got another bead, and so every time I come out of the felt, every time I come out of the thread, I go back in, every time I pull my needle out, I put a bead on there before I go back in. And so I come out, I put on a bead, and I'm going to decorate the whole tree that way. And be careful as not to get my thread wrapped around the existing bead coming out, which I just did. And so let's get that out of there. Okay, there. See how you can see how those beads are just on there, and then you really don't see the stitching on them so much. And as you see the bead. But then you always want to, when you stitch that, put that stitch back in, make sure your needle comes out where you want the next bead to go. See, so I got them pretty much around the bottom, and I'm going to start going up a little bit. So I'll have that needle come out where I want that next bead to go up a little further. And see, now then that one come up a little further there. Oh, that's where I started it. Okay. And see, so then right there where that thread come out, then that will be the next bead. which will look like your trimmings on your tree. Some of my beads won't go over that needle. That's okay. I'll get another one. So this morning Papa had his, and thank you for all the get well wishes. My goodness, he's getting cards in the mail. He says, "Do you think this is for me?" I said, "It says Papa on there. That must be for you, sweetheart." And he's getting little get well cards. That is so awesome. I just love it when I love being spoiled, but when my husband gets spoiled, I love that even more. And so let me just put a couple beads down here. So if I put a few down here, then I can just kind of pick them up with my needle. It's a little easier. Okay, and so anyway, we had our appointment with the surgeon again this morning, which for his follow-up, and they took the staples all out already, and the doctor was very, very happy to see how well he was healing. And he wasn't happy to see him on a cane. He says, "I want you on your walker, not the cane." And so, which I had been telling him that, but he was telling me, you know, "I can get around fine with the cane." I said, "But they say the walker. That's why they gave you the walker." And so, so he's gonna now use his walker, but because they said, like right now, that one leg is still swollen a little bit, you know, well, quite a bit. But they said because of that swelling is no. Wait a minute, that bead didn't go on the needle. Because of that swelling, the swelling is normal. Because of that swelling, it kind of cushions everything, and so it gives him a false sense of security. And they said you can easily lose your balance and fall and just undo everything that was done, and that's why they really encourage them to use the walker. And so he's going to use the walker now. And I guess I guess Papa thinks the doctor's smarter than I am, which I guess maybe he is, but I kind of knew they didn't give you that walker to use as a coat hanger. But anyhow, so he's doing good. The doctor was very, very impressed with how well he is doing, but he wants him to still be very careful. And we go back in 6 weeks for another follow-up, so that's good. You know, 6 weeks, that's a long time. So, and he said it actually takes 5 months for a surgery like that to heal completely. 5 months. So he's got to be careful for those 5 months, and so that everything will heal completely and correctly, and to keep ice on it, you know, keep icing it. As long as it's swelling, he's got to keep icing it and continue wearing the TED hose and the TED hose is to prevent blood clots, and so he'll do that. And when we got home, there's this big box at the gate, and I said, were we expecting something big? And Papa says, "Oh yeah, that's the food." I said, "Food? What food?" And he says, "I told you about that." Well, he did not tell me about no food. He said they called him, and this is something to do with the insurance company. And he said those are just ready to serve meals that they just send to somebody who has had surgery like that and not able to get up and fix meals for themselves, I guess. But there's 10 meals in there, 10 meals with a drink and everything. And they're kind of made like a TV dinner, you know. They were all packed in ice, which was good because he needs some ice packs. The ice packs works out perfect. But I don't remember him telling me that somebody called him like that, which he probably didn't tell me. But that's okay. I said, oh, I must have forgot. And so I looked through the box to make sure that there was no bill in there, and there was no bill. It's just like they said. It's 10 meals for one person, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I guess that's just to keep, since they hurry them through the hospital for the surgery. He was only in the hospital for 12 hours total. And and then instead of staying in the hospital, they send them home, and they send home therapy. Physical therapy comes to the house, and the home health nurse comes to the house. And this stuff you normally would have taken place in the hospital. And then, of course, then they feed you too, make sure you're eating right. And in the hospital, well, since they send them home, then I was very surprised at the food. I mean, and it's good meals. They're all made like it's sort of like a TV dinner thing, and they're really frozen. They're in a nice box that's all styrofoam and then ice packs. And so he's got all those meals, which is great for me because I'm borderline lazy. And so he will have those meals. And he can heat them up himself if he wants to. But I'll make sure he eats it because they're all good things. So that was really a surprise to imagine. But it's what they do in place of staying in the hospital, is you heal at home. But you still have all of the things that you would have had in the hospital. So I think that's great. But see now how my tree is coming? How it's getting all decorated, and I'm going up. I'm going up the tree. And each time I come out with my needle, I put on another bead. Another bead. I want to thank Tracy Turner. Oh my gosh, she sent me a box. She sent me a treasure chest. I'm telling you, although it's out there on my dining room table. There's fabrics in there. There's tea. She sent me tea. She sent me fabrics. She sent me stencils. A bag of Christmas candy that I didn't even know they made anymore. When I seen that bag of candy, I thought, oh my gosh, my mama used to always have that kind of candy in a candy dish at Christmas time, and I hadn't seen it in years. I figured they didn't make it anymore. And that was in there. And one of her handmade little Christmas tree ornaments, which that's going to be used in my my journal, my fabric journal that I'm making of the 12 days of Christmas. That's going to start on Christmas Day. Well, there's another one. Some of these, the bead won't go over the needle. And that's one that wouldn't go. So, and fabrics. Oh my God, the fabrics that she sent. The one I'm going to be using two of the fabrics that she sent me, I'm going to be using, is perfect, and she didn't know what I was going to be doing, but the fabric is going to work out perfectly for what I'm going to use in my 12 Days of Christmas journal. And that's going to be perfect. I'm going to love it. It's going to be so pretty, my journal. And I'll put it out every year at Christmas time, unless I leave it out all year. You never know about me. I'm a strange, odd person sometimes. Ooh, I'm finding a lot of beads that don't want to go over the needle. There, that one fit. And see, now I'm getting toward the top here. And see, each time I come out of the fabric, I go back in with another bead. and that stitches each bead on to the tree. And I'm almost to the top here. And then I'll do that other one too today. I won't. I got so many things going on right now, so many different crafty things. Tried this morning. I told my daughter, I said, why don't you just take Papa to the doctor and leave me here? She said, no, I ain't leaving you here. You ain't leaving me. You're going with him. So I had to get a shower, and I had to get dressed, but I'm glad that I went. Because it's fun, people watching, you know, and this doctor must do a lot of knees in one day because we're sitting in there waiting, and I'm seeing all these people coming in on walkers and wearing Ted hose, and I thought, holy smokes, this doctor was a very busy man a week ago. And then somebody brought their new baby in just to show the doctor, because this girl used to work for the doctor, but then she had been trying to have a baby like forever, apparently, and she finally had a baby, so she was bringing her baby in to show. And so I got to see a beautiful Christmas baby too. So I'm glad I went. Oh, and then we stopped and got a sandwich at Arby's. We didn't go into Arby's. We just went to the drive-thru. I'm still not ready to go into a restaurant. I have not been in a restaurant since COVID started, and I'm still just not ready. And so I don't want to. We've never been much for restaurant going anyway. Okay, now I have all the beads on my tree, on my Christmas tree. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I could take this string and just wrap it around like this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little bit of, it's like a, ooh, what's this one? It's like real tiny sequins that is strung together on a cord. And somebody had sent me this in a Happy Mail, and I've used it a couple times just in my Christmas decorations. And so, but it is so pretty and it's so sparkly. And so I'm going to start it up here at this top, and I'm just going to use the thread that I've already got going at the top, and I'm going to secure that at the top. Now you could use anything here if you're going to go around, you know, with a yarn or some eyelash trim, any kind of a narrow trim you could use here. So I'm just going to get that fastened at the top, and then I'm just going to spiral it down. And just spiral it down in between the beads, and like I'm decorating my little bitty tree. Okay, now when I get down here, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just, as I'm at the bottom, okay, I'm at the bottom, so I'm just going to put some hot glue, just a wee bit. I could just fasten that as well with just some thread, but I'll go ahead and hot glue that. And then, let me get my old scissors here. I quit using my good scissors for stuff. There we go. Got that off. Cut this off. Okay, now there's my tree. Now I've got too much. This is too long up here, see, and I'd always rather have it too long than too short. So just cut that off at the top there. Then what I want to do is, that is so pretty. I love this. And this one is going to be pretty too with the lighter green. And then I'm going to take, I've got these wooden beads. Look at that, bead fits right over that. If that isn't, well, you know what, I see if I've got just a wood colored one. There's just a wood colored, but that one's, the hole is too little. see, what else? This one might work. That one's the hole's too little. I might have to use that pink one. And okay, let's see. Dig, dig, dig. I don't know. I'm just, for some reason I'm being too picky here. For some reason I'm being extremely way too picky about what I'm putting at the bottom. So, oh, okay, so then what if I'll do instead, what if I do, because see, I like just that little brown bead. Okay, so what? I'm going to try something different then. So what if I put this, it's suede cord is what this is. I'm going to tie that in a knot to make it a lump that won't go through the bead. Oh, see? This is good because I can put some glue in the bead and then pull that through where the knot is up inside the bead, and that will stay there, okay? And that was hot on my finger. Okay, so then I'm going to cut that off of there, that plastic part of that tubing. And then I'm going to get me a piece of this here. And then I'm going to just slide that. That's going to slide real easily through that plastic tubing. Very easily. It went right through there. Now, that glue should be good and dry, so I can cut that off at the bottom. So it looks more like a tree trunk or a tree stand in the little wooden shape. You could use anything there like that, that would work. And then for the top, then I want to put a bead too, but I think all of these beads are probably too big. I didn't get one ready beforehand to I didn't get one ready beforehand too. And that's just too big, Elizabeth. And let's see, what do I have here? Do I have anything that looks like it'll work? Well, I could probably use something different, but okay, what I'm going to do here just is drop these beads in the floor. I'm just being a little klutz. I didn't plan this ahead of time, as you can tell. Okay, I'm going to now glue, put this little bit of glue here, and turn this piece of felt down into the glue, so that'll be like a hanger. And I'm not going to put anything at the top. I'm going to just leave it like that. I'm just going to leave it just like that, and maybe what I'll do later on, see now that that'll dry, the glue, don't want to pull on it yet, but that's pretty much my tree. That's my tree, and you can decorate however you want to decorate your tree, with beads or sequins or whatever. See, this was just a bead I made, and I used white felt, and and it's not in the shape of a Christmas tree. It's just, I thought it can make an ornament. Now see, this white one, that'll look pretty if I put a colored bead at the top and the bottom, actually, to make another little ornament. So this one, I just wrapped the felt around it. And so here I can, I'm going to make this knot a little bit bigger because that hole is a bit bigger. And so I'll make that knot a bit bigger at the end of this. It's just, what is that called? It's faux suede cord. That's just what I have, so that's what I'm using. Okay, so then that will go just fine right down into that bead. That'll be perfect. Okay, so I'll get that into that bead, and then I'm going to put glue. I'll squash some glue in there so that then when I pull that knot through in there, it's going to stick. It'll stay once that glue cools off a little bit, and I take a little drink of my coffee. That's good. Okay, so that gave that time to dry in there, and then I'll put that through the put that through there, and if you had like bead caps, you could put them on top like that, and that would be pretty. And so then here I will put glue right down here. And then I will just push that suede cord into the glue. Make sure that gets good and dry in there. Make sure that glue gets held in there. Let me try something here. Push that down in there a little bit, I think, with this pin. There we go, yeah. Look at there, I can even leave that pin in there. Be another decoration. Okay, and then I can leave that like that, or I can put another one of my big old beads on the top. Just to make, now if I had that red or green, you know, Christmas color, no, I don't like that orange on there, it's too much. But then that's another little ornament. So there's the tree and there's a bead, but I really like the shape of the tree. And so to make it the shape of the tree, you just cut that piece, like I say, in like the triangular shape, and once you start winding it and keep the flat side all at the bottom, then you get that tree shape. And I think that's very pretty. I think that's beautiful. I think it's very beautiful. So, and then whatever you have that you can decorate with, because you're slow stitching again, but you're slow stitching in a round. And you can make these while you just sit and watch a movie. I was at the doctor's office in the waiting room. They had Home Alone, but it was a Home Alone, a different Home Alone. It was like Home Alone in New York or something like that playing. I told Papa, I says, I think I want us to watch that show. We look it up. It's probably on Netflix or something. That'll be fun to watch. Now I'm going to go here and find a Christmas reading for us today. And oh, I wanted to say too, oh, let me, just before I do that, I told you about what I got from, ouch, what I got from Tracy, and I'll show you more about what I got from Tracy when I start my journal of the 12 days of Christmas. You'll see, because I'm going to use so much of it there. Then I got from Ethel Lewis. She had told me she was going to send a Happy Mail, and this is what she sent. I've got these 4 cards I can use, and they're beautiful, double-sided. Once I cut them out, then each one has double-sided, and these are all fabric. Look at this. It's like a muslin fabric. I don't know if she bought them that way or if she printed these, It says, having someone to love is family. Having a place to go is home. Having both is a blessing. And then here's one that says, family, the ones you live with, laugh with, and love. These are gorgeous. Home, where you meet your friends like family, and where you treat your friends like family and your family like friends. And there's another one like that other one, family, the ones you live with, laugh with, and love. Having someone to love is family. Having a place to go is home. Having both is a blessing. And then this one. Yeah, this one is like I read on another one. Home, where you treat your friends like family and your family like friends. And here is children are a gift from the Lord. Psalms 127:3. And children are a gift. And this one, it looks like she's stamped on. It says, you are loved. And she sent 2 of those. And these are beautiful. I will love using these. In fact, I may even put these in that journal that I'm going to make. My journal is going to be something I think very special. And thank you very much, Ethel, for those. Those are beautiful. And like I say, the stuff that Tracy sent me is out on my dining room table, but on Christmas Day, which is not live, so you don't have to worry. I'm just going to do a quick video, and each one will only be like maybe 15-20 minutes, but I'll be using a lot of the stuff that Tracy had sent me, and that's what I'm going to show off, what she sent me. Okay, and here's what my reading for today. The Gift of God's Love. This what I'm reading for is Lovingly by Helen Steiner Rice. Poems for All Seasons. And I got this book sent to me by Erin Morrison. She sent me, yes, Erin. She sent this to me, and which makes my collection of Helen Steiner Rice books. I think I have 5 or 6 now. Okay. All over the world at this season, expectant hands, let's put on our glasses, Elizabeth. All over the world at this season, expectant hands reach to receive gifts that are lavishly fashioned, the finest that man can conceive, for purchased and given at Christmas are luxuries we long to possess, given as favors and tokens, to try in some way to express that strange, indefinable feeling which is part of this glad time of year, when the streets are crowded with shoppers and the air resounds with good cheer. But back of each tinsel-tied package exchanged at this gift-giving season, unrecognized often by many, lies the deeper, more meaningful reason. For born in a manger at Christmas, as a gift from the Father above, an infant whose name was called Jesus, brought mankind the gift of God's love. And the gifts that we give with no purpose, unless God is part of the giving, and unless we make Christmas a pattern to be followed in everyday living. I want to tell you something, too, that's on my mind right now. If you're still here, I just want to tell you something. This is amazing. It is amazing. But I got an email or a message from one of my subscribers, one of my Facebook friends. Her name is Susan. And it turns out, she asked me, she says, was your grandmother's name Jenny? And I said, yes. My grandmother's name was Jenny. And she said, I was out to lunch. She had been out to lunch the day before, or, recently, with her cousin. And they were talking about their grandmother, or her cousin's grandmother, or somebody's grandmother. And my name come up. Somehow, my name. And the cousin said, I think that my grandmother was best friends with her grandmother. Find out if her grandmother's name was Jenny, and did she live in Esco, Minnesota? And I said, yes, my grandmother's name was Jenny, and she lived in Esco, Minnesota all her life. And through this Facebook and YouTube, I connected with this girl, Susan, and she said that I think she remembered me from high school even, my name from high school, in Esco, which actually I was only up there through the 7th, 8th. I was in the 8th grade. God, how my memory is going kaputski. But, yeah, I couldn't believe it. I just could not believe it. It's just like this world. It's, look at how and her grandmother, or her grandmother, I think she said it was her cousin's grandmother that was best friends with my grandmother. And that was a long time ago. I was 14 when I left Minnesota, and I'm 72 now. And look at, in that 72 year, I mean, in all the years. But anyway, I just wanted to share that because it just gave me the goosebumps for the day. I'm telling you, that was amazing to get that message from this girl that about our grandmothers. Our grandmothers were best. I guess if it was her cousin's grandmother, that must have been her grandmother too. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. But anyway, to know that our grandmothers were best friends, and we meet across the internet, in YouTube, in Facebook, or whatever. I just had to tell that. I just had to tell a story. But anyway, I ask God to watch over you every step you take, every move you make, and make you some little Christmas trees. Look at that. And that's what that felt. Felt is very inexpensive. And then any kind, like a straw or anything you can use to go in the middle so that you can slip something through to make a hanger. And then you can make just a boho bead too. You don't have to make a Christmas. It can be for any time of year. Okay, ask God to watch over you every step you take, every move you make, bring you back safe and sound and happy and healthy to the next video. And God bless, and make some ornaments.